Hey everybody, this is a Prelude episode, getting you ready for the next trip. Now, I know what you're thinking, why would you want to go in again after the crazy friggin' horror movie that basically happened the last time you tripped? Well, we get into that at the beginning of this interview, and I'll just drop you right in right now.
My journey through the Pantheos. Prelude.
Go ahead. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and tell us about just, kind of wrapping up the end of your last experience. Before we get into the next one, what your overall thoughts were of your first ayahuasca experience and what you thought was going to happen in the future, or where you thought that you should go next in your journey.
Yeah, like where was your head at this point? So you did that crazy trip with the spider webs and all that. Mm-hmm. What are you thinking now?
Okay, so after that intense ayahuasca experience where I went down into purple hell and I wrote a shape there and I had to crawl through an inferno to save my life, all that crazy stuff. Couple things happened to where I wanted to go in again, and basically bottom line, I had run out of ayahuasca, but I still didn't have all the answers. Ayahuasca gave me like a little dip your toe in kind of experience. I went to hell, but nothing profound happened. Then I saw a couple of goddesses, and the beginnings of something profound was about to happen, but didn't. And so I was like, okay, before I drop another shitload of money on ayahuasca, I still have a couple bags of mushrooms left. I'm going to do a heroic dose, which is, about 5 grams of mushrooms, and just see if there's anything left in the tank for mushrooms to show me.
So tell us a little bit about, you say you're out of ayahuasca. It exacts a little bit more of a physical toll on your body at this point. So you have now gone down the rabbit hole with this. What are your thoughts about what it's doing to you and how much of a, personal commitment you have to put into doing ayahuasca, from getting it, and to the effects of your body when you do it?
So good question. So I'm out of ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is a lot more expensive than mushrooms. And so I'm already thinking like, damn, I got to drop another $600 to get another shipment of ayahuasca versus I pay about $60 for some good mushrooms that give you just about the same experience. Just about. I've already covered in other episodes what the differences are with ayahuasca versus mushrooms. You don't get as much of instructions with mushrooms, but you still have an amazing experience. So the other thing about it is you mentioned stuff, how it affects your body, right? And so that's a very good point too, because mushrooms just overall, I would say, is a more pleasurable experience. You don't get the insane intensity with mushrooms. You don't go to hell as much. And when you do go to hell, it's not as crazy, and it's not as hard on your body. Like you don't have the vomiting or the diarrhea and all that stuff. So
would you say like the even the emotional impact of your experience is heightened on ayahuasca over what it is in mushrooms, or maybe the depth? I wouldn't say emotional, maybe just the depth of your experience.
It's tough to answer. Because I didn't know what all ayahuasca had to offer me. Like, I honestly thought that at this point, I thought to myself, like, I just operate better on mushrooms than I do ayahuasca. I get more out of a mushroom experience than I do out of ayahuasca. Ayahuasca, all it did was just scare the shit out of me. Like, ayahuasca was seriously like you're being dropped onto the beaches of Normandy in D-Day, and there's no profundity from this. It's just like you are in a battle for your life, and there's no goodness that you can extract out of this.
So it was just terror?
It was absolute terror. Nothing good came out of that first ayahuasca experience. And those next two, I got the little taste of something that could be good, but it's so much work to get to that point in ayahuasca mushrooms versus ayahuasca. With mushrooms, you take 5 grams of mushrooms, and in an hour or so, you are in the most profound experience of your life, no matter what. With ayahuasca, it takes about the same amount of time to get there, but it's either profound or it's not, or it doesn't work, or it doesn't, or it does. And if you get the right kind of like environment and setting with ayahuasca, you can go so much further versus mushrooms. And so I didn't know that at the time, though.
But so at this point, you've had a bad experience with ayahuasca. You're thinking, my journey's not done. I'm going to go back to mushrooms and see what I can do with that.
Yeah, and that's because, again, I had ran out of ayahuasca, and we still had about a bag and a half.
So it's a supply issue. Yeah. I got it. All right.
Yeah. And that's what happened. So we had 2 bags of mushrooms. Me and my girlfriend, we went to my hometown, my family house, which is in the process of being sold at this point. There's no furniture, no nothing. And we went to Manville. And
why did you go there to do it?
Because I think that I wanted to be very comfortable and at peace. And we covered this in episode 2. Like, Manville is a very like peaceful place. It's my boyhood home. It's kind of like being in the womb again. I couldn't think of a more peaceful place to want to go deep into a psychedelic experience. And who knows, maybe it would bring up some kind of history that maybe I have experienced at the house that would be relevant, kind of thing. And so I was like, yeah, makes sense in Manville, to do it there. So we went to Manville, and I went ahead and I just did a full bag, which is about 5, a little bit over 5 grams of mushrooms, which is the heroic dose that they always say. And what I remember is, unlike the time before in Manville where there was a lot of people there was enough people that they could entertain each other. And I remember I'm pointing to one of my buddies sitting at the table here. I remember you saying, like, where were the other people?
Yes.
And it's because they were able to, there was like 8 people at the house. They were able to entertain themselves. And I was like, okay, I can sneak away. And what I did is I just snuck away and had these experiences by myself. Because for me, I can't have someone there with me to cloud what's going on. I don't want someone like saying some kind of bullshit comment in my ear. Not to say that these people would say bullshit comments, but I didn't want any distractions. I want to be fully locked into the experience. Now, if you go somewhere with another person, that effect goes bye-bye. Like, you can't have someone else there to entertain them. So I took a heroic dose with the full intention of getting these amazing, profound experiences. Well, guess what? My girlfriend wasn't there for that. She may have been wanting to look after me or whatever, but she was not there to be left alone in a furnitureless house. And so what happened is that as I took the mushrooms, and my girlfriend got in the pool and was swimming around and stuff, and I was like, okay, well, she turned on.
Yeah, so that's about all you need to lead you into the next trip. And get ready for it, because it's going to be a doozy. I mean, we got some crazy stuff, y'all. Very, very deep, profound stuff. And some very terrifying stuff, too, sprinkled in there for you horror fans out there. So, yeah, strap in, get ready for trip number 4.